Sure. This is Michael Gons. Michael Gons. This is Tim Moore.
Okay, great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Tim. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to go through the introduction on me much then, because these guys know me. But so you know, I'm the director of expansion for Easy Referral Network, which is a top 10 team in Keller and a top 30 team in the country. We did about 1,550 closings and almost 400 million last year. So I do three things. I run an office in Columbus for the organization. We open Philly, we're open here. I'm building offices, and I do a lot of teaching and training. I also own my own company. I've been training for brokerages, pay me to travel around the country and speak. So, and I'm a fancy dresser, as you can tell. Somewhere I pack khakis. I don't know where they got to. So you get me in jeans, but there's a real short version of me. I've been in the industry since '89. So I've been around a little while. Today we want to talk about something most agents never use. I can tell you it was the secret. Dwan, can you hear me?
I sure can, Tim.
Perfect. I will forget there's a camera, so you're going to see the side or back of my head a lot. I apologize.
No problem.
Doing live and Zoom drives me nuts because I forget about the people that are on Zoom. LinkedIn was a driving force for my business. It's something that most agents don't use because agents are taught to use social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and a whole bunch more. LinkedIn is a misunderstood thing. Most agents don't even have decent LinkedIn profiles. They don't think to use it. LinkedIn got me more business and everything but open houses that I ever did in my career, by far. There was a point where I was getting 40, 50 closings a year just from LinkedIn. With my favorite four-letter word, free, because LinkedIn's free. You don't need to pay for the extra services. It works. It's a free service. Why does it work so well? Because almost everyone that matters is on LinkedIn. Executives are on LinkedIn, doctors are on LinkedIn, firefighters are on LinkedIn, nurses, teachers, every group you can think of is on LinkedIn. Realtors are really weak on LinkedIn. So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn and the basics of how to use it to get business. Because you can be connected to as many people as you want, it means nothing. It's like having 5,000 Facebook friends you don't know. If you don't do anything with it, it means absolutely nothing. Zero, zilch, useless. And that's what most people do with Facebook. They just, oh, look how many friends I have. You know, yeah, I thought you have 5,000 and you've actually met 10 of them and you like less than that. LinkedIn's the same way. You can build huge connection bases. LinkedIn's not limited. Facebook's limited to 5,000. My primary LinkedIn account, which is now shut off, you cannot join my big one, has 290,000 connections. 290,000 people see my monthly newsletter. 290,000 people can see my posts. I built my coaching and lecturing business on it. If I want to go out and make money, I'll go out to Chicago and I'll get 400 people in a movie theater and speak. I do it all through LinkedIn. 99 bucks a head. It's a nice day's work. LinkedIn has been a godsend for me. And a lot of agents that have been coached and use it right, it's a godsend. It is strictly a business search engine. That is all LinkedIn is. A lot of people don't know. It was started, and I will send you guys the PowerPoint, so you don't have to jot everything down, but I'll make sure everybody gets the power of the slides. It was started as a search engine for jobs. It was a recruiting tool. You were able to put basically your resume up and companies were able to find you. That's what LinkedIn started as. It did not start as a social media conversation, posting pictures of houses tool. It started as a search engine. You can find everyone that is on LinkedIn if you know how to use the search engine. You can find their email address, you can find phone numbers, you can communicate with them, you can message them. It is a database of business people all across the country. Most people don't understand that. It's a search engine. It's a pretty search engine. It's got some neat stuff. What it is, and it's not a social site. It's not a place to post puppy pictures and baby pictures or tell me you were at a restaurant. It's a business site. There's an awful lot of people that hop on and start selling immediately. You know, you get a connection request and 30 seconds later, they're trying to sell you whatever multi-level marketing program they're in that day. It's a recruiting site. And it's amazing how many times I get approached from brokers and things trying to recruit me in the real estate community. But it's not a social site. It's not a real estate site. It's amazing how many people put up posts of their listings and things. That's not what it was designed for. and people aren't looking for stuff like that like they do on Facebook. It is a way to connect with individuals. It is a way to build your business by connecting with the people that you want to do. LinkedIn falls in a very, very specific category of your business. If you want money today, go knock on doors. Go do an open house. Get on Facebook and post a listing. Buy leads. Call Zillow, buy leads. There's things you can do to get business today. LinkedIn is not about getting business today. LinkedIn is career building. LinkedIn is about business 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 6 years from now, the rest of your career. The relationships you make on LinkedIn are long-term. So LinkedIn falls in with other forms of business networking, going to a chamber event and meeting people, going to a Rotary event. It falls in that category. You're building relationships for the future. It falls in with having a referral program. It falls in with having a farming program for a neighborhood. It's a long-term business builder. So if you have to make money right now to pay your rent next month, do not spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Go knock on doors, go do something where you're going to find a deal. What LinkedIn can do is find you hundreds of deals. The best, and I always like to start with an example. John McConnell used to own Worthington Industries. He owned the Columbus Blue Jackets hockey team, and then he died. So he used to own it. I had tried for several years to get in with Worthington Industries to handle relocation clients. Worthington Industries is a big employer in Columbus, and they move a lot of people. Never got anywhere. Well, the announcement came out that we were going to have Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm a huge hockey fan, made me happy, but it immediately made my brain click. I want to get into that company. How am I going to do it? So before they even had a jersey out, before they created anything, I bought a custom designed jersey. We didn't even know what the name was. We had heard rumors it was going to be Blue Jackets. So I had a Blue Jackets logo done, and the back said McConnell won. I packed that. I went on LinkedIn, found his actual office address, which was not in their corporate headquarters. I found a way to get in touch with him. I sent the jersey with a business card. I get a call from John McConnell wanting to take me to lunch because I did something so nice for him. I ended up getting some reload business. But I went through LinkedIn as a way of finding out how to get it to his desk so it can get opened by some secretary. That he actually opened it himself. John was on LinkedIn. Kurt Walker, the CEO of Nationwide Insurance, is on LinkedIn. The president of PNC Bank is on LinkedIn. These people are there.
Why are they there? I know why I'm there.
You know, in some cases, they don't even know they're there. They haven't set it up.
Okay.
But a lot of it is because they're able, there's a lot of influencers. You know, Richard Branson is on there, Guy Kawasaki, all these great business writers. A lot of them are on there because of that, because they're getting content. They're pulling articles to use. Like Kurt Walker, my wife works for Nationwide. I overheard a little bit of one of his meetings. I mean, he's talking about something. It's like he got that off an article. I know exactly where it came from because I'd read the same thing, and he did give credit for it. It wasn't like he plagiarized it, but I bet he saw it on LinkedIn because that's where I saw it. It was a Richard Branson piece. There's so many groups on LinkedIn. There's executive groups. If you're the CEO of a Fortune 1000, there are groups on LinkedIn that these people belong to, private groups. I don't know that they're sitting there at their desk watching the content scroll through. Right. They're using it at a higher level than probably we do, but they're on there because all of their peers are on there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a digital BNI, if you know the BNI, the business networking.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a business or digital BNI.
Yep, it's an online. So let's start with what it really is. It's business dating. If you're out of the bar and you see someone across the bar and you want to talk to them, and you walk up and you're slurring your words and you smell bad and you got stuff spilled down your shirt, people don't want to talk to you. You know, there's a reason I walked in a t-shirt. It's because if I walked in my Flyers jacket, people here would probably not want to talk to me.
We talked a little bit about it.
LinkedIn's business dating. All it is business dating. People have to think you're attractive and interesting to want to talk to you. That's all about profiles. And unfortunately, this screen is a little small on this TV. But you guys have all been in LinkedIn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Dewan, you've been in LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to shift screens and try to get a bigger screen up there. LinkedIn is a search engine. People can go in and type in Pittsburgh realtors and find you through a search. If you don't have an attractive profile, the little spiders that crawl around electronically and do the search will not find you. So if you don't have a complete profile, you will not be found. There are bad profiles. You'll see profiles that don't even have a picture. If you don't have a picture, you are not findable in the search engines. But it's much more than that. If you don't have education listed, if you don't have some kind of content, videos, marketing pieces available, if you don't have testimonials from people in your LinkedIn, you become less and less findable and you become less and less attractive. If you don't have all of the sections filled out, if you don't have your current job and a good description, not just I'm a realtor, but paragraphs of what you do, and if you don't optimize search words, everyone's heard optimization through internet sites. You have to optimize your website to get it to the top. And you hear organic, which is still optimized. You guys can't read this, nor can I. But this says something along the lines of, you know, my realtor one would say something along the lines of, I'm a professional realtor. I've been in the business since 1989. I specialize in single family homes, condominiums, new builds, all these keywords. And if you go through my entire profile, you're going to find the word condominium 5 times or more. You're going to find new home 5 times or more. You're going to find historic homes 5 times or more. You're going to find every possible thing I can think of to optimize 5 times or more, because LinkedIn's minimum is 5 times. Their maximum is 5 times. If you put the word condominium in your LinkedIn site 5 times, you will be found when someone types in Pittsburgh condominiums, realtors specializing in condominiums, anything that condominium goes into a search, you will be in that search. And you stand a very good chance in Pittsburgh of making the first page, which, like any website, if you're not on the first page, you're pretty much not there. So your profile needs to be completely done. If you don't have there's a circle that tells you how full your profile is. If it's not full, you're not going to get found in searches very often. But it's also an attractiveness. What makes you interesting? I'm a realtor. I help people sell houses. I help people sell condominiums. That's boring. It's not attractive. That's the equivalent of walking up in a bar to someone and saying, hi, can I buy you a drink? You want to meet a girl in the bar, walk up and say, excuse me, are you Czechoslovakian? They will find you interesting. They'll ask why, at least you'll get a conversation going. Because if they say no, it's still interesting. You have to be attractive. My posts talk about Homes for Heroes and my commitment to the Homes for Heroes program. And I have a whole description of the fact that we help firefighters, police, teachers, etc., buy and sell real estate. We get them checks when they close. My new profile, the one I'm really using right now, talks about a Homes for LGBT program that our team has. It also has stuff about my background, that I used to be on the board of directors for a major national charity. And the profile I'm using now actually is a picture of me and the horror writer Dean Koontz, who was also on the board, sitting there over beers. There's interesting stuff there. There's videos on mine. I put up videos on our team. I put up videos about the awards we win. I just posted the Wall Street Journal thing about our team, and I got like 1,900 views on it within about an hour. That's 1,900 people seeing Tim Moore attached to the Wall Street Journal. That's pretty cool. People seeing Tim Moore at Denny's is not necessarily attractive. So it's, you know, as you're creating this, it has to have interest as well. It's your business dating resume. It really is. If you reach out to me, and you guys can kind of get the point when you see a blank profile with no picture, if you reach out to me to connect and I look at you and that's what I see, I'm not connecting with you. You're unattractive and we're not going to date. We're not going to have coffee. I'm not going to hear you talk about your business, and I'm certainly not going to refer you to other people or use you. That's a bad profile. Like I said, I'll send you guys a slide so you'll be able to see this a little bit better. But if your profile looks anything like that, shut it down, get off LinkedIn, get to work on it. There's a lot of profiles out there. And this is an actual profile of someone who reached out to me wanting to connect. That's what I looked at. If you don't think people stalk you on social media before they have you come out for a listing appointment, they're checking you out on social media. If that's what they see, that's a particularly ugly thing. And that's actually a realtor, by the way, that did this. That's a Remax agent in Columbus. I think it's Columbus.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can see his highlights. That he's pretty nice.
Yeah, he doesn't even tell me where he's, oh, he's from Canada, maybe. What does that say? Yeah, he's from Canada. That's a bad profile. His concept of reaching out to me wasn't bad. He was trying to meet realtors and might be able to refer him business. But that's one ugly profile. That is the guy that spilled his beer down his shirt, didn't bathe before he came out to the bar, slurring his words because he's drunk. And his first line is, "Can I buy you a beer?" Slurred. Ugly profile. No one's going to want to dance with you. It's business dating. So starting with the starting point here for LinkedIn is your profile has got to be attractive. If it's not attractive, don't bother using LinkedIn. By the same token, if all you're posting on Facebook is anti-vax stuff or pro-vax stuff, stop, because it's going to piss off a good chunk of people. You know, Facebook neutrality matters. LinkedIn professionalism matters. We don't talk about baby pictures on LinkedIn. We talk about business. What I want to hear from someone who meets me, you know, they reach out to connect. I want to see a good profile and a reason I want to know them. If it's an agent in a different city, maybe I can get them to refer me business if they don't even move it. Okay, that's a good reason to meet. If it's an insurance agent, a mortgage person, I want something more than they're going to try to sell to me. The profile matters. I want to know professionals. I want to know people that have been in the business a long time or have interesting resumes before that. You know, if you're a brand new agent, what did you do before? What would be interesting to me? I wanted to see something that makes me want to connect. So let's walk through a strong profile. Complete. If it's not complete, it's weak by definition. Then add interest. Then add value. I will post on my active profiles, I'll post actual classes that I've done so that people can come into my profile and see a free class on how to use LinkedIn. Boy, does that get a lot of hits. People connect with me and they go, "Oh, this guy teaches classes on LinkedIn," and I've taught classes on LinkedIn for years. And I give them a free class. But by the way, I get $150 a head for this class when I teach it for money. I give it to them for free. That's interesting. I put a Wall Street Journal piece up. People are interested in that. I got very lucky. I've posted content before that Richard Branson liked and Kawasaki liked and Jeff Gittimer's liked. I have those posted on my profiles with notes that Richard Branson shared this and it went viral. That's interesting. I have a very interesting profile. I've been at it a long time. So interest matters. There's a lot of things you can add, but you've got to be interesting. You've got to add value. Your LinkedIn profile should have value for someone else. You know, in my case, I use classes. Well, you guys can steal one of my classes and put it up there. It adds interest. It adds value. You can, you know, you can do your own class on something. Do a safety class. Do a class on, you know, on different brokers. Put something up that has value. One of my good friends, he's a handyman / realtor. He puts handyman videos up. You know, if your pilot light goes out, here's a video on how to turn your pilot light on. If you're, you know, if you lose water pressure, here's what to do. He puts up all these how to clean your gutters without dying. He puts up all these great handyman videos, how to light the pilot light on a gas fireplace in wintertime. So he's got probably 50 handyman videos on his LinkedIn page. That's value. You know, that's good value. Another friend that I know that's a realtor is a big musician. He posts things like, hey, if you're going to get an instrument for your child, here's a good recommendation for a starting guitar. Here's some teachers I recommend for, you know, he puts up a lot of music stuff on his real estate profile, but it's interesting. It makes him stand out and he gets a lot of views on it. So it's got to be interesting. It's got to add value. Does everyone know that LinkedIn has groups? Just like there are Facebook groups, LinkedIn has groups. If you want to sell investment properties in Pittsburgh, for God's sake, get on LinkedIn and join, type in group searches for things like Pittsburgh real estate investors. And you're going to find groups you can join. And if you join them, you're going to have the opportunity to meet and talk to a lot of people that are investors buying real estate in Pittsburgh. I can tell you, I did this, not last night. I'd be lying if I said last night. I think it was Tuesday night. I actually went into Pittsburgh and looked at different groups. I found 5 real estate investment groups that had at least 100 members or more. I joined 2 of them. And if I wanted leads for $80,000 investment properties, I probably could have had 10 people to work with. They're there. I also found a historic homes group. I found a handicapped housing group in Pittsburgh. You know, people that need ramps and widened doorways and things. I found a couple first-time home buyer groups. There's a ton of groups on LinkedIn, just like Facebook. The difference is these groups are professional groups. You don't look like you're showing baby pictures. You look like you're a professional realtor. But the groups are out there. So join groups and engage in them. The biggest mistake people make is they join a group and then they just don't do anything. If you're going to join a group, watch the content. When people post questions, respond with answers. Post content yourself and get conversations started. If you don't have testimonials, get testimonials. Even a brand new agent who's never sold a house, get testimonials. Get them from your last job. Get a friend to write a testimonial. I don't care what your testimonials are. You need 4 testimonials to get up to the top of search engines. If you need me to write one, I'll write one for you. I said you were a pleasure to have in class. But get testimonials up there. I'm not saying go create 3 fake accounts and write your own testimonials, but get testimonials. I guarantee you that you know people, even first day brand new agents know people from their past that will write them testimonials about being an honest business person, you know, a great asset. Get testimonials. Please get your photo in there, your contact info, and please make it correct. I met someone I was looking for something kind of really bizarre, and I found a guy on LinkedIn who specialized in that, and his phone number was wrong, and his email was no longer active because he had changed them and he hadn't updated his LinkedIn profile. So please make sure, and if you are the old guy with gray hair, have an updated photo. One of my friends has a photo from 1992 on his LinkedIn account. He's gained 100 pounds, his hair fell out, it just turned gray, and he has a cheesy massive handlebar mustache that is not a good look for him, but the picture shows him with full blonde hair, parted down the middle, kind of 80s style. Make sure your picture actually looks like you, so if we arrange to meet for coffee, I'm not walking around trying to find someone that doesn't look anything like you anymore. Optimize, optimize, optimize. Whatever you want, optimize it. If you want to specialize in shady side real estate, make sure shady side is in your profile 5 times or more. If you want to specialize in horse properties, make sure you're talking about that in your LinkedIn profile. I personally think every realtor should have at least 15 to 20 words in there. Now, you don't want to make it read badly. You don't want to say, I specialize in condominiums, condos, and downtown condominiums, suburb condominiums. You don't want it to read that badly. You've got to make it read well, but you've got to optimize it. So your keywords, 5 times minimum, I'd say 10 times max. Post content regularly. Be active on LinkedIn. You don't have to post every day, but once a week or twice a week, write a real estate tip. Put something out about, rates just went up. Here's what it means. Rates went up a half point. This is what it means. For every 100,000 you borrow, your payment just went up this much. Write something about road closures, or write something about a new neighborhood coming, a new development. Hey, they're converting this big warehouse into condos. Put something in a couple times a week. If you have if you get COVID and you're laid up for a few days, write 20 posts and save them, and put them in once at a time. If you have a horrible weather Sunday, write 10 posts, be good, done for the next few weeks, or share stuff even from other people. But put content up at least once or twice a week. Video does much more than text. Pictures worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 pictures. Pictures, text, are good. Videos better. Update your profile regularly. It will update your years automatically. But, let people know if your profile today says, I've sold $4 million worth of real estate, and you get up to 10 million, change it. Make sure you update it. Make sure you're updating what's in there. Every time you post on LinkedIn, the search engines read you and they'll move you in the search. So the more activity, you will move up. The less activity, you'll move down. Every time you update, I go into my posts every month and I'll change 3 or 4 words. I'll actually go and delete the word "the," and then I'll type it back in and save it.
Brings you back to the top.
it shows activity. It's a way to fool the system. But I do things like that to stay at the very top of the list. Make sure you have someone testing your profile. You can't search yourself. I can search you, but if we're connected, I can't search you either. We're connected. You come up in my search. I actually, if you ever see a guy by the name of William Bentright playing in your LinkedIn, it's me. William Bentright III is my alter ego on LinkedIn. I have a fake profile set up so that I can test profiles.
That's a good idea.
So if you ever get a request from William Bentright III, please you take it. It's a friend of mine in school, Dickie Bentright. He was born with a bad name. But so if you ever see William Bentright, that's me. But you can't search yourself. Someone who's connected to you cannot search you. It's got to be a neutral person. It's got to be someone you're not connected to do a search. And then set up alerts. If you don't have Google Alerts set up for yourself, you can go into Google and you can set up alerts. Every time you're posted somewhere, someone says Tim Moore with KW, you'll get an alert that your name was mentioned. This is a good way to prevent people from cloning you. You know, you'll find out someone cloned your Facebook account or someone cloned a LinkedIn account. Yeah, you'll find out if you had alerts set up. So you can actually Google Alerts, and it has a step-by-step easy walkthrough to set up Google Alerts. It takes about 5 minutes. Then you'll know when people are sharing your LinkedIn posts. You'll know what's going on more. So set up alerts. If you do this, you have a strong profile that's attractive and will be found in searches. It's not hard. It takes a little bit of time. The other thing is don't do it all at one time. Don't sit down today and spend 4 hours doing your LinkedIn account. Do a little bit today, give it a couple days, do a little bit more, give it a couple days, do a little bit more. Because each time the spiders see you doing it, you're moving up in the searches. If you do it all at one time, they only see one activity. So spread it out over a few days. But get it done. This is the list. If it's not on this list, you do not need to do it. There's nothing you can do that's not on this list that's going to help your profile. Optimize it. We kind of talked about it. We talked about it quite a bit, the key words. But part of it too is, what do you want people to see? Do you want to be a specialist or do you want to be a generalist? If you want to be a specialist, like my profile when I sold was really geared at high-end real estate. I didn't want clients under 500 grand when I sold. I tended to refer those to other people. And if they were buyers, I always referred them. So my entire profile was Tim Moore is a luxury realtor. I specialize in higher end homes. I specialize in high-end new builds. So what I posted tied to that, I didn't post things about, you have a hole in your vinyl siding, here's how you fix it. I posted things about, did you know there's a new neighborhood going up by this country club? Did you know that this builder is offering a $50,000 free upgrades if you buy? I was focused on a certain clientele. So everything I posted was very, very specific. I would post articles about, you know, the value of built-in bookcases and gorgeous woodwork and bridal staircases in houses. I would not post articles about, hey, you're a first-time home buyer, here's a grant program. Because what you post is what people see. What they see is that's your brand. So, you know, as you're doing this, decide, what is your brand? What do you want to specialize in? If it's a certain part of town, if you want to be a shady side realtor, make sure that shady side is at 50% of your posts need to push that out. If you really want to, if you want to work with pro athletes, if you want to get in with the Steelers or Penguins or Pirates, you know, I'm not sure the Pirates count as pro anymore. I love the ballpark, but man.
They're getting better.
Well, I was gonna say, we'll give you that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a Flyers fan right now, so I can take all the abuse I deserve for my team. But, you know, if you want to go with pro athletes, tie that in. If you're a former pro athlete, tie it in. You know, in Columbus, we have so many ex-Buckeyes that sell insurance, cars, or real estate. You know, they played on the football team, and if they started, if anyone knows their name, you know, we have a couple of guys that are top agents who won Super Bowl rings that played for Ohio State. They get a lot of business because of that. So they tie it into all their social media. They do, you know, hey, if you use me, not only will I help you buy a house, but we'll get autographed football and jersey for you. You know, they use it. They get season tickets, they give them away to people. So when you're optimizing your brand. What's your brand? You know, what is the business you want? If you really want to do Homes for Heroes clientele, focus a lot of your LinkedIn on it, just like you would your Facebook page. So how do you use it? The biggest part is, who do you want to meet? You can go out and just meet everybody. I don't know that you have time to follow up with everybody, but you can just go out and blanket and invite and invite and invite. If you put out more than a certain number of invites, it will shut you off. You'll get a nasty little letter saying only invite people you know. So don't go out and invite 500 people, you'll get shut down for 30 days possibly. But invite 10 people a day, 100 people a week. But who do you want to meet? So define that. If you want to meet divorce attorneys, you want to meet estate planning attorneys, if you want to meet the salespeople for all the builders, if you want to meet a lot of realtors from out of town, out of state, and try to build a referral network, define your targets and then use the search engine. And we'll go through a search before we're done, but we'll have to switch to a LinkedIn page. But we'll go through an actual search. But use the search engine, send the connection request, and then bring value. Then the big part is take it out to the real world. Take it out of LinkedIn. What do I mean by bring value? I'll use Homes for Heroes, because this would be a great tool if you wanted to meet nurses, teachers, people like that. So, and I've got agents that I coach and agents on our team that do this. They'll go in and all they're doing is connecting with nurses in the various hospitals and medical facilities. And when the person accepts their connection, they send them it's a note that looks custom, but it's not. They just change the name. But it says, hey, thank you so much for the connection. The reason I'm reaching out is I work with a program, Homes for Heroes. Did you know, as a nurse, all the people you work with, the doctors, nurses, admins, techs, if they buy or sell a house, they're entitled to a check after closing. I bet you didn't know that. The reason I reached out, I'm trying to spread that word. So if you're ever buying or selling, you want the check that you're entitled to, call me and I can tell you how to get it. But I also would, is there any way you could spread this? Could you, if I sent you a post, could you share it with friends? I can send you some flyers. I'm just trying to let everyone know, because you guys are heroes. I'm trying to let everyone know about this program. You can connect with 1,000 nurses in the next year if you wanted to, and put that information out there. Not all of them are going to care. Most of them are. You only need to find one or two in each medical facility that want to help you share because they love it. They pass it on to the doctor. They pass it on to the techs. That's how the search engines of LinkedIn can be used. Instead of Facebook, where you're throwing something out there and you don't know who's reading it, LinkedIn lets you target by profession, by company. If you really wanted to work PNC Bank, you can do a search and find nothing but PNC Bank employees. So you can target specific companies. You can target specific levels. You can target only executives. You can target people that have been in a company 10 years or more. So you can use this as an amazing search to build databases for your marketing efforts. And what I mean by take it to the real world, have a phone call, have a Zoom, meet for coffee. If it's someone that you can help and they can help you, meet for coffee. Take them out for a beer after work, meet for lunch. Take it to the real world, invite them by the office, stop by, find a time to stop by theirs. Trick to connecting with them, personalize the invitation. Don't send the generic LinkedIn, I'd like to connect with you. Have something that you send them. And I've had 5 or 6 written that I just cut and paste, and I just changed the name, but have a personalized invitation. Bring value to them. Don't reach out to someone, hey, I want to connect with you because you might be able to send me people that want to buy or sell houses. Bring value to them. I've got Homes for Heroes. I've got this. I've got free training videos. I've got free videos on my page that you can look at that are home improvement tips. I've got whatever it is. Bring value and don't sell. You cannot reach through a computer screen and smack someone, but my God, there's days I wish I could. Because people will reach out and connect with me, and the first thing they do is try to sell me something. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to sell your line of nutrition products, vegetables, whatever MLM you're working in. I'm not saying MLMs are bad or good. I'm just saying I'm not interested. Don't reach out and try to sell me. Don't reach out. If you're an insurance agent, don't reach out to me. And then when I accept your request immediately, can I give you a quote on your insurance? That's not professional, and you're not going to get anywhere with it. That's the ugly guy at the bar who, can I buy a drink? 1 drink in, you want to go home with me? That doesn't work well, usually. That's not professional. Don't sell right away. Focus on building a relationship and taking it to the real world. I have a meeting in 2 weeks with the head of HR for the Columbus City Fire Department and police departments to talk about Homes for Heroes and talk about trying to get them to promote the program to their staff, to the officers, firefighters, with it saying, for information, the program called Tim Moore. That's 3,900 employees, I think, that would see me being promoted by their own HR department. How did I get those meetings? I went through LinkedIn. I found the people on LinkedIn. I searched Columbus Police and Columbus Fire HR, and I got to the heads of HR through LinkedIn. That beats one sale any day. So I took it to the real world. I gave them some information. I followed up, gave them some more information. They expressed this. Then they said to me, we need to let our staff know. I said, what do you need from me? Do you need flyers? You know, you need a Facebook page created. What do you need from me? And I said, and I'm not the only agent that they can use. It's not like they have to use me. There's other agents they can use. I know if I'm the one who gets in there, most of that business will come to me because they're not going to go try to find other agents. They're going to say, well, who can help us? Well, we know Tim can, or you can go online and try to find someone else. But it was a relationship. You know, I'm going to be walking around the police department headquarters, fire department headquarters. I'm going to be getting introduced to I'll probably meet the chief. I'm going to meet a lot of HR people. That's a huge amount of business for the next few years of career. And in my case, since I don't sell, it's leads for the agents. I can tell you out here, I was on LinkedIn and I connected with several LGBT groups out here. And I have a meeting tomorrow while I'm driving back to Ohio with the head of one of basically the AIDS Alliance here in Pittsburgh. I'm talking to the president of the organization and the director of the organization about the LGBT housing initiative. They want to hear about it. And I know when they hear about it, they're going to want to work with me to get that out to all their members. That's about 7,000 people that are going to find out that, by the way, there's an organization that if you buy or sell a house, that you get a check back and it donates money to getting LGBT youth off the street. There's 7,000 people that are really going to care about that. I mean, they're going to be jumping for joy to hear about that because they've never heard about it. Why? Because one of my business partners owns the organization. He started it. So it gives us an edge in all of our markets we're in. But that's going to be huge. I got to them through LinkedIn. That's where I got the phone numbers and contact info. I didn't have to call a secretary or an admin and work my way up. I went right to the person I wanted to meet. And I brought value. You know, my first thing was, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to make sure you're aware this is out there. I brought them a huge value. So the steps are it's a rinse, lather, repeat. Personalize your invitation, bring value, don't sell to them. You know, get outside of LinkedIn. What a Zoom is, I don't think a Zoom's real world, but it's a whole lot better than texting on a LinkedIn account. You know, in this case, we're doing phone. They wanted to meet me face to face, but I could not be here Monday or Tuesday. I cannot get back out here next week. So we're doing a phone call while I'm driving home, and then we're going to have. If it goes well, I'm going to be on their Zoom in 2 weeks with all of their board.
Oh, that's awesome.
To get approval that they'll market this program. Yeah, that beats me having to market it. I don't want to have to go find 7,000 members of the LGBT community one at a time. You know, that'll take a lot of work. They do it for me. I only had to find one guy.
Are you going through percent?
Pardon?
Are you going through percent?
No.
Okay.
So the secret is honey. The secret is making LinkedIn part of your marketing. LinkedIn should be something you check multiple times a day. You should be putting content up. You should be inviting people. It's not something you should remember once a month and spend a couple hours on. It should be part of your social media marketing, just like your Facebook is, just like Instagram probably is. So it's something you have to use. I'm not going to try to use this search, and I was going to show you one here, but I'm going to go over and do a live one because this is too small for you guys to see. I forgot you guys didn't have a big screen in here. Or I would have brought a projector. I just totally forgot. I apologize. So we'll do a live search, but here's some ideas of who you want to connect with. Out-of-town realtors. Who knows how many realtors Keller Williams has? You're not allowed to answer because you'll know, but you know how many realtors are in Keller Williams? 180,000. If you reach out to Keller Williams agents, they're going to accept your invite because you're both at Keller. Those are 180,000 people. Take out what, 500 in Pittsburgh maybe? Knock those out. All the rest live in other cities. you can meet those people. And if they have people moving to the Pittsburgh area, you can get the referrals. Out of town realtors are great. I can tell you where people move to Pittsburgh from the most, if you want to know. You get a lot of people from the Philadelphia, East Coast area. You get a lot of people from Cleveland. Cleveland and Pittsburgh people move back and forth, and they hate each other. But yeah, Pittsburgh's the third biggest market of people that move to Cleveland, and Cleveland's like fifth of people that move here. Columbus, Ohio moves back and forth quite a bit. West Virginia in general, but Charleston, Wheeling, Morgantown, a lot of people move to Pittsburgh. You get a lot of people moving from Buffalo down to Pittsburgh. Meeting agents in those cities, there's a good likelihood you're going to meet agents that, that are moving here, and you can be their referral source. If you met 100 agents and you got 5 or 6 extra deals a year just from their referrals, is that worth it? Yeah. Meet a few thousand agents, you can get a lot more.
And free marketing.
Yes.
It's free.
4-letter word, free. One of these days, I'm going to say the other one's going to slip out. Estate planning attorneys. Who knows when people die? You can go down to the court and get public records of people dying too. But estate planning attorneys are dealing with a family where the old people, usually the older people, just died and they now have a house to deal with. A lot of cases, the family doesn't live here and the attorney's stuck dealing with it. The attorney does not want to deal with selling a house. If you can reach out to estate planning attorneys and talk to them about a program where, hey, you'll go in, you'll take care of getting handyman, you'll take care of everything, make it easy on the estate planning attorneys. They're looking for realtors that will work with them. Divorce attorneys. It's a great group to meet because they need help. They've got clients that need to sell homes. Professionals who may buy or sell homes. One great thing on LinkedIn is track people when they get promotions. Someone gets a big, like Nationwide Insurance. If you go from VP to senior VP, you're talking a $200,000-$300,000 raise. What do people do when they make that much more money? Buy new houses or cars. So you can find the professionals. You can find people that post new jobs. You can actually search by people that have only been in the job for a month. You could be searching PNC looking for, hiring people that just moved here, or people that just got fired. Good time to sell a house. But you can use this to actually search professional different groups. You could search residents at the hospital. You could search interns. A lot of them are buying houses when they get those posts. Financial planners. They know an awful lot of people with money, and they deal with a lot of people that are downsizing. Hey, we're older, we're going to move money. They deal with. They're a great one. Contractors.
And say the other one's helping them put the money together to buy the house.
Contractors. You know who knows people are selling a house before we do as realtors? Painters. People always get their house ready to sell before they talk to us. Carpet cleaners and painters. But contractors know people they live in a house 30 years and then they remodel the crappy kitchen to sell it instead of remodeling it so they'll enjoy it. Contractors are a great source. Plus, when you have a client, if you get a client who loves a house, but the bathroom sucks, you want to be able to have contractors you can call and get an estimate like that to be able to redo it. So that's a two-way street. But stagers, mortgage originators, developers, builder reps, commercial realtors. You know why you want to know commercial realtors? Most of them are not allowed to sell residential real estate. If you work for CB Richard Ellis, you cannot sell residential real estate. But when your friends ask what do you say? I'm a realtor. Oh, can you help us sell our house? No. Imagine if you had 100 commercial realtors that were passing you their residential referrals. Most of them aren't members of the board for a reason. They don't sell residential real estate and they have their own MLSs. They have CoStar and things. Commercial realtors are huge. I've got one in Philadelphia I met 4 months ago. He's given us 6 referrals in 4 months for the team out there. And they're all pretty significant money because his clients are business owners. One of them is a $3.4 million house. Pretty cool house. I went through it this weekend. Pretty cool. But there's this huge list of industries that can help us. What do they have in common? They're all on LinkedIn. You really want to do the research to track down all the divorce attorneys? Go online and have to write it all down. They're all right here. You can connect with them right here from a free source. So your search is, you want to target them. You want to figure out, who do I want to talk to? One group you will have a hard time finding, by the way, are police officers. Most of them do not post on here. You will not be able to go into tax records and find where they live because they show up as unlisted. They don't want people getting out of prison and tracking down the officer that arrested them.
If they're married, you can usually find their
You can
spouse.
usually find their spouse.
Is if they're, the spouse of a Leo. So keywords. for that.
But pretty much everything you could want to find is out there. And they're on LinkedIn and it's free. So here's kind of a sampling. I actually created this for an agent I coach. I started coaching them a few years ago. And they said, well, what should I try to accomplish on LinkedIn? And as much as I've looked at this and thought about updating it, I never really have because it works. Imagine if you had 5 divorce attorneys that you knew well enough to call and get on the phone. And you had 5 estate planning attorneys and 5 builder sales reps, people sitting in the models, 5 HR managers of decent sized companies you knew, 5 commercial realtors, 5 financial planners, 500 out-of-state realtors in the surrounding areas. Plus your past clients, connect with them on LinkedIn, a good range of contractors, 20 mortgage originators. And mortgage originators will not only will they connect with you, but they will offer to buy you dinner, lunch, take you golfing, whatever, the minute you connect with them, because who do mortgage people want to meet? Realtors. Plus your business contacts, your dentist, your doctor, all your people. And then targeted connections with people you're going after. That's a referral machine that just generates business 24/7 while you're sleeping, it's doing work. When you're on vacation, it's finding people. That's not that hard to build either. You're talking a 4-6 month period to build that. It's all a matter of once you get connected, what you do with them. But getting that connection base, that's not a hard connection base to build. So then it's keeping in contact with them. When I sold, I would take all the emails out of LinkedIn because it's in the connection of their information. You can get their email. 95% of LinkedIn people, there's an email there. They have to have them with LinkedIn, but paid accounts can block them. I don't know why they would, but they can. So if someone doesn't have an email, it pretty much tells you they're actually a LinkedIn paid account. I took those databases out, like right now with Command, move them over to a smart plan. Take the email and move them into your smart plan and get them on a monthly newsletter, a drip campaign. Post content. Utilize newsletters of some type. Whether you write your own, buy one, learn about them. You may not want to send every single person that you connect with the same thing. You may want to have a Homes for Heroes type campaign for the people that qualify. You may want to have a totally different campaign for realtors out of town, all focused on referrals. You may have to take the time and set up a few. But learn about them, categorize them, join groups and be active. Start a group. No one, I've said this till I'm blue in the face, I can't get anyone on my team to start a Homes for Heroes group. You could start a private group where you're the only realtor and invite all the Homes for Heroes qualified people to be in it and make it a group not just about the Homes for Heroes program. Make it a group where they can share their businesses because every firefighter does something different. You can build a house out of a firehouse usually because there's a plumber there, there's an electrician there. So many of these nurses, God, half of them have a different side gig of some type, if not more. You can start a group for the heroes to talk to the other heroes and share their businesses and ask for things. And you can be the realtor running and the only one in there and have this great program. Have coffee, host a networking event. COVID kind of sucks for this, but you can invite 200 people from your LinkedIn group to get together, here in this room and out there after work, get a mortgage company to bring food and munchies and drinks, and you can host networking events and introduce your contacts to other contacts, and you're the host. Utilize video education. That is so powerful right now. And build business. You can build a business page on LinkedIn. If you don't know that, you can actually, just like on Facebook, you can have a Facebook business page. You can have a LinkedIn business page that is a dedicated business page. So the key thing, keep in contact. Keep in front of them. They don't know you when you connect, probably. They'll forget you really quickly. Once you connect, the door is open. It's the opportunity to build a relationship. You got to keep in front of them. You got to keep in touch. And then, we know this and we don't do it. How do you get referrals? I'll tell you why I know you don't do it. Because a study was just done of realtors. They asked 10,000 people that closed within a year, would you recommend your realtor? Sadly, 79% said yes. I wish it was higher. But 79% said they would. You want to guess what percentage actually did give their agent a referral? 79% said they would.
5.
6.
Okay.
Wow. If 79% of your clients would refer you, but only 6 did, why?
How was mine?
You didn't ask. We know you have to ask for referrals. You have to be willing to say, by the way, if any of your friends, anyone that you know needs to buy or sell a house, please think of me. I'd love to help. You've got to ask. You've got to help your referral partners. If you want a financial planner to help you and send you referrals, you got to do something for him. You know, you've got to be willing to introduce your clients that don't have a financial planner. Say, hey, if you ever need a financial planner, I've got a great one. If you need an insurance agent, I've got a great one. You've got to give it back. But if you go down this, you ask for them, you ask for them, you ask for them, you ask for them. It's really all that matters. That's why I typed it like 5 times. You take great care of their referrals, you'll get more referrals. If you're referring business and I screw it up, you're probably not referring me another one. So you take great care of them. You help the referral partners. It's simple, but 6% got a referral. And the best time to get referrals is right when your people move into a new home, because they're excited and they have their friends over who see a new home and they start thinking about it. If your clients would say, hey, my realtor was amazing, people aren't asking. LinkedIn's the same way as when you're meeting with connections. When you start talking to people, imagine if you connected with an insurance agent and you said, let's grab coffee and let's talk about how I can help you and you can help me. Let's see how we can help each other. And you know what insurance agents hate are renters policies, because they cost nothing and they pay nothing. They spend 2 hours doing a policy to make like $40. If they can figure out a way to work with you, imagine if you could get their renter policies in this room and do a first-time homebuyer seminar with the insurance agent hosting it. If you can get 4 or 5 of those people to buy a home, you're happy, and the insurance agent just got 4 or 5 homeowners policies that pay a whole lot better than renters. There's ways to work together, bring value. That's the end of part 1. Just in summary, LinkedIn's long-term. If you're desperate for money, please don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Talk to me afterwards and we'll have other ideas of what to go do this afternoon. Connect with a plan. Why are you connecting? If you're going to reach out to me, why? Why should I care that you sent me a connection request? Why should I want to connect to you? Be attractive. And why do you want to connect to me? You know, what's the purpose of connecting to Tim Moore? Well, he does free classes. He does a lot of educational pieces. Okay, that might be a good reason right there. He knows a lot of people. That might be a good reason right there. But ask yourself, why am I making the connection? I mean, what's my goal? If I say, yes, I've connected, what's the next step? What are you going to do next? Are you going to call me and say, Tim, next time you're in Pittsburgh, I want to buy you a coffee and pick your brain. What's your next step? Have programs to promote that seek referrals. If you're not engaged in something like the Homes for Heroes or an LGBT housing initiative, look to add something to your portfolio, because something like that gives you something to put out there that people will care about, and there's a reason for them to refer. I said this to someone the other day. I was talking to a nurse practitioner about Homes for Heroes, and it's actually someone at my wife's oncology office, and she loves the program. I said, I can get you some flyers or something to put up in the break room I wouldn't feel comfortable telling other people. I wouldn't feel comfortable, doing that. And I looked at her and said, are you such an asset? You want to get a discount when you sell your next house, but you don't want the people you work with or your friends to? And she kind of looked at me strange. She goes, well, no. I said, so how do we tell them? She's like, well, can you get me something on Facebook and I'll share it in the Facebook group. It's being shared at my wife's oncology office that has 400 employees. Just had to kind of point out to her, you really hate your friends so much you want them not to get a check back when they buy a house, But programs matter, having something that the other thousands of agents don't.
Right.
One of the keys to being in this business, especially for newer agents, you got to have some reason that beats the old agents. And for veterans that want to grow their business, you're successful already. What are you going to add? You're not going to grow your business as a veteran agent by doing the same stuff. You've got to do something different. You've got to add something. So the veteran agents that have been doing this for years and years and years tend to hit a wall. They tend to hit, I'm doing 50 deals a year, and they do it like clockwork, but they can't get to 100. Programs are the things like that will get you there. So answer the question, who can you help? How can you help? And what is unique about you? What do you do different? What do you do better? You know, we've got a new agent on the team in Philly. He's taking his test next week. He's been a handyman for 15 years. He's going to offer $1,000 of free handyman services to anyone who lists a house with him. That's going to take him about 10 hours of his life to do $1,000 worth of work. That's going to help him get listings. That's a big deal. It's something different. Even if the listing person really doesn't care, it still makes them stand out from everyone else they see. Build relationships on give and take. People that give help other people. Takers look for victims. You know, people that are all about them, I don't care. I just want to sell. I don't want to sell. I don't care about the client. I don't care about anything. I just want to sell. They're looking for victims and their career dies quick. Be a giver. Reach out to people and meet people and connect with people that are also givers. You know, the question, how can I help you, should be asked before, how can they help you? You know, meet an insurance agent. What can you do to help them? Can you introduce them to 10 more agents in the office that might be able to use them for their clients? That would help them a lot. Ask them that before you tell them how to help you. Come from a position of giving. It matters. And then the last thing in summary, remember, a tool's only as good as if you use it. You know, if you have LinkedIn and you never use it, so what if you have 10,000 connections? If you don't use it, it doesn't do anything. And that's the problem of pretty much every social media policy. So the big question goes back to, why would someone want to connect with you? Are you attractive or are you ugly?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you professional? Are you a business person that I would want to meet? You know, I'm driving to Indianapolis in 2 weeks for a day to meet someone I met on LinkedIn that wants to meet with me. And I said, I'll meet you halfway. They're driving from Chicago. I'm driving from Columbus. We're gonna meet down in Indy. They have the coolest looking software program that I've ever seen for marketing virtual reality. And it's coming. Our team now has virtual reality. We're the first team outside of California and New York City that has virtual reality. It's coming. This company is so far ahead of everybody else. They actually are creating a real estate virtual reality platform. He reached out to me with something so interesting. He's like, we could schedule a Zoom. I'm like, no, I'll drive up to Chicago. I want to meet on this one face to face. He's like, well, I'll meet you halfway. So we're meeting in Indianapolis to spend a day looking at virtual reality things. This guy's going to make a lot of money from me driving out there, I bet, because if his product's as good as it looks, this is something we'll be buying and using. And he'll have one of the top 10 teams in the company where he can then go to the other big Keller teams and say, hey, Easy's using it. That will matter for him. That'll help him sell to big teams all over the brokerages. So why would someone want to connect with you? Doesn't have to be a huge thing, but you gotta have some reason that they want to connect. It goes back. You can help them. You offer something that nobody else does. You can help each other in a symbiotic relationship, not a parasitic one. Symbiotic means both creatures need each other. You can help each other. Divorce attorney, I got a couple examples. I mentioned divorce attorneys, but attorneys don't want to deal with people getting divorced. They're a pain in the butt. When it comes to real estate, they usually have to deal with both. You know, it's not like they're dealing with just their client. To sell a house, you can't have, well, you can. You're not going to have two realtors. There's going to have to be a realtor both parties agree on. And both attorneys don't want to get caught up in that. What they want is a realtor that will take that off their plate. And if the husband and wife start fighting, the realtor will grab it and say, you got to sell the house, shut up, sign, move on. So attorneys want someone to save them the time and effort. Attorneys want communication. You know, what they really want from the agent is what's going on. The house is scheduled to close. You know, we got an offer and so is not going with it. They want communication. They don't want to have to waste their time. So if you're going to reach out to divorce attorneys, what's your program? Can you show me a written step-by-step, Mr. Attorney, here's what I do. You know, first of all, I meet with the husband and wife and I tell them, Every single communication will go to both of them. There will be no communication that doesn't go to both. You know, every offer will be presented at the same time to both of you. You know, here's my program. Here's how I communicate with the attorney. You know, and most cases when they're selling a house, a lot of times in divorce, they're buying. You know, you're going to probably pick up one buy side. You got to remain neutral, but that's part of, you know, can you do it? Can you communicate with all the parties? Do you have a team around you? Can you go to the attorney and say, by the way, I got a title company that really is good at dealing with divorce couples. I have a handyman if we need anything. I've got this, I've got this. I even have movers that I can recommend that are really good at dealing with divorcing couples. You come to a divorce attorney with a program, they're going to listen. It's going to be it's going to interest them. Insurance agents, we know they want to sell higher price policies. Do they want to meet your clients? Do they want to meet the people you're selling homes to? Hell yeah. So you can help them turn their renters into homeowners. They can introduce you to other insurance agents and your sphere will grow. And it will grow astronomically. They can introduce you to the clients. Imagine if an insurance agent would let you market to his clients. What if you said, hey, let's do a shared newsletter. You send it to all your clients, I'll send it to all mine. And we'll both post it on social media. You'll get your name in front of a lot of people. You can joint market your spheres. That's huge. And you know what? You may get a good insurance quote. You might pick up a client the insurance agent might use. Out of area realtors, good, the same thing. If they get someone who's moving to Pittsburgh, they can make 25% or they can make 0. If you're in front of them and you're the agent that tells them, hey, if you get someone thinking about moving out here, call me. I'll take care of them and you get 25% for the phone call. And if I have anyone moving to where you are, I'll call you. They're simple, easy programs. It's not rocket science. It's free. It's a great way to spend a rainy day. It's a great way to, you know, just if you have an evening where nothing's going on, it's a great way to do it. So let's talk about very briefly something else that does apply to LinkedIn. My book will be out soon on this, by the way. I'm writing a book called 35750. It should be called An Idiot's Guide to Networking, but that's already copyrighted. You know what 35750 is? What if you met 3 new people a day and did it 5 days a week? And you met 750 new people this year. Wouldn't it help your business? If anyone wants to say no, then we need to have a conversation about your mental state. If you met 750 of the right people, even better. If you met 750 realtors this year, if that's all you did, you're probably going to get referrals. If you met 750 nurses, if you met 750, business people, you met 750 commercial agents. I doubt there's 750 commercial agents in Pittsburgh. I don't know the number. If you added 3 people a day, this could be meeting someone when you're out and about. You go out to a bar with friends, this could be talking to a couple people there. This could be going to a networking event and meeting people, or chamber of commerce event. This could be connecting with people on Facebook or LinkedIn, as long as you actually do something beyond just the connection. Think about adding 750 people to your network per year and getting them all into a smart plan. Is it going to affect your business? LinkedIn is a great tool to use for this because it's a whole lot easier to meet people from your desk when you can invite 20 people in 10 minutes than going out in the real world and trying to meet 20 people. And this takes one skill. This takes the skill we learned when we were kids. This is the skill it takes. Remember when we were kids and a new kid moved in, or if you ever moved, you were the new kid, and you met the kid next door, and it's like, oh, I'm Tim. Well, I'm Jim. What do you like? I like baseball. I like football. I like this. I like playing Army. Oh, so do I. And you were best friends instantly. We all knew how to meet people. All of us did. Even the introverts today knew how to meet people back then. You know what happened? Dating came along and screwed that whole thing up because we started lying and worrying about our hair and stuff. And then cliques started in junior high school and high school, the athletes, the cool kids, the stoners. It pulled it apart. We all forgot how to do it. It was as simple as just walking up to someone and saying hi. You know what the business version is? It's hi. Who are you? I'm Tim. Oh, I'm John. Well, John, what do you do? And John's going to tell you. Oh, I'm in the insurance industry. I work for State Farm. Oh, that's great. Do you have a card? Well, yeah, I do. What do you do? Well, I'm a realtor. No different than when we were kids. It's a simple skill set of saying hello to people. Say hello 3 times a day, 5 days a week, 750 people. If you notice, I gave you weekends off and I gave you 2 weeks vacation. You know, I'm not a slave driver. Imagine if you did 5 a day, 10 a day. You can meet too many. You can meet so many you can't follow up with them, in which case stop meeting people. If you're, you know, if you have a full-time job as well as being a realtor, meet 1 a day. 250 people a year. I've written an entire book on 35750. It's the simplest thing I've ever thought of. In all my years of teaching classes on networking, going to networking groups, I used to own a networking company similar to a BNI. I was a partner in one that had, well, we had like 500 chapters. In all the times I spoke, I was always trying to figure out, here's, how do you explain this simply? 35750. Easy. Introverts can do this because introverts can use a computer. Extroverts can go to a bar and meet 25 people in a night. Bridal show. Bridal show. How many people can you meet? You know? You mentioned BNI. Go as a guest to all the BNI groups. And you'll meet a whole lot of people. They can be, yeah. The problem is with COVID, attendance is down in all the networking groups and the number of referrals passing is down. But go to all the groups as a guest to meet people, if nothing else. But imagine connecting with 750 people this year. You're going to sell more homes? And is it going to pay off next year? And the year after? And the year after? Yeah. Here's your other option. Go do an open house and hunt for 1 client and try to find them a house and get it in contract and close. And what do you have to do next? You have to go hunt again. Now, hopefully that client starts to refer you and they start, you know, but doing it 1 person at a time, I'd much rather knock out quantities of people. I would much rather knock out quantities. I just had an agent, my last trip to Philly in December. She reached out to me and she had seen me do a class on connecting. And she said, Tim, what would it cost to have you teach a class for me? And I said, and I know she's a relatively new agent, so I didn't think she'd have a lot of money. I said, well, why? She said, I'm going to invite, and I'm going to get 50 to 100 business people in a room to take your class. I'm going to pay you to teach it. I'm going to invite and invite and invite till I fill a room. And I'm going to be the person who gets to meet them all and hosted the class. And he's going to help my business. And because her answer was good, I didn't charge her anything because I was going to be out there anyhow. I taught it for free. She had 90 people in the room. I talked to her while I was out in Philly this past week. She's already gotten 4 deals from that class because she gave such great value. Everybody in the room wanted to know her. This is LinkedIn. It's a great tool. Before I show you how to do an actual search, questions.
It's all pretty simple to me.
I forgot you were there. You just scared the hell out of me. This voice came out of a speaker.
And I just, I gotta say, Juan, I've never said I had to turn the volume up on you.
Yeah, that actually just scared me.
I ain't mean to scare you, Tim.
No questions. Either you knew it all, I bored you, or I really did a good job. One of the 3. I'm going to assume the 3rd.
You really did a good job. Again,
you always thorough.
Always ideas beyond ideas that we have. And that's what I love. Wouldn't you agree, Dewan? Like some of these, it's like until somebody actually points it out to you that you should be doing it, we don't think about it.
Right. That's what it is with Tim. That's exactly what it is with him. I didn't had people teach, but the way he teaches is not even teaching. He's really just talking to us. And that's how I really internalize the information, because the way you just talk like we're just having like just kicking a bobo.
Yeah, and this isn't hard. You know, this is something anyone can do. It's just people don't really put the whole thing together. You know, people tend to make connections but not do anything else. Or they tend to post content but not really build their connection base. So let's go through an actual search. This is a mock-up page. This is not one of my real pages. I use this one for teaching, so if I ever delete something, I'm not worried about it. But up in the upper left corner on a LinkedIn page, there's a search bar. Everyone's seen this little blue box up here that says search. That is a search bar for LinkedIn. So you can search that. If you click on a search, you can type in anything you want. So let's type in, what do we want to type in? PNC. It'll give you company, it'll give you bank, it'll give you jobs, it'll give you all kinds of ways to search things. In this case, the company comes up first. At some point, it will say PNC in people, which means they work there. You can type in a category. You can type in nurse. And you can type in, again, nurse and jobs, which is people, you can find people that are nurses. I wonder how many people will come up. Whoops, I actually hit the wrong thing. Look at that. And then you scroll down, you see people here. These are all nurses. Since this is a fake account, I'm not connected to very many people. But if I see all people, it'll tell me, let's see, all people. Yeah, I'm in a fake account. I've got 100 pages, which is the maximum you can have. Each one has 10 people. So I have 1,000 people that I can get to right now from this fake account that have nurse in their job description. They're either are a nurse, were a nurse, or training to be a nurse. Imagine all the nurses I could connect to. Yeah, and it's as simple then as hitting connect and sending a message. And this account only has like 4,500. I'm only connected to like 4,500 people through this. If I were to do this in my big account, oh my God, I'd have to narrow it down. Because the most you can get is 100 pages. But you could put in nurse and you could put in the University of Pittsburgh Hospital and you could find nurses that work there. The search is easy. And then you'll notice you also will see connections. This first box here, the green one, that's where the people is. But you can also search for jobs by post, by companies. You see the groups. If you click on groups, you're going to find groups that are nurses. You're going to find somewhere there's going to be a Pittsburgh Nursing Alliance group. You can find groups to join. You can search events. So you can find if anybody's posted that there's going to be a convention or a trade show for nurses. That's all right under people. Connections. Don't search first connections. Those are the people you're already connected to. Search second and thirds. LinkedIn has a very weird thing because they want to sell you a paid account. You do not need one. I have one because I have hundreds of thousands of connections. You can meet second connections without a paid account. Thirds, it gets very iffy.
They'll pop up in your individual searches though.
They will pop up,
If you
but
pop up their name.
you can't connect with them necessarily.
So.
But if you connect with, if you go out and say you want to meet nurses, if you go out and connect with 50 nurses, that's going to open up thousands you can meet because they're all connected to a lot of nurses. You can connect to all of your second connections, which means if you're connected to me, you can connect to everyone that I'm connected to. So I'm a valuable person to connect to because I'm what's called a lion. Lions on LinkedIn are people that connect with pretty much everybody. We see value to building mass numbers. Lions are great people to meet with, or to connect with, because now you can reach out to everyone I know. I've never spent much time connecting in Pittsburgh. And it's funny, I was in the account I use for our expansion. I had 60 people in Pittsburgh in that account was all I had. That was 4 months ago. I now have 9,000 people in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which account it pops up, and I have 8 accounts.
I put it in your second one.
But so you can search by connection. You can search by location. So you can search any city. If you wanted to meet with Cleveland realtors and build those relationships, type in realtors under people and then location Cleveland. You can type in current company. So if you want to search realtors, you can find Howard Hanna agents. You know, if you're a recruiter for the office, this is a way for you to connect with all of the competitors' agents and recruit. You can, there's all these other filters. And paid accounts, the one big advantage of paid is you get a lot more filters. I think I've got 60 filters to choose from. But it's got connections, it has location, it has current company, but here you can do past company. You know when I made money on past company? When companies shut down or they pull out of town. The minute you get an announcement that a company's leaving, people are starting to sell houses. That's a great time to connect to people. If you heard, and they're not going to, but if you heard the PNC was leaving Pittsburgh, if probably not closing bank was packing up their bags and leaving, that'd be a great bunch of people to connect with. You can find retired people. If you want to market to seniors, if you want to really be a condo specialist, senior living specialist, you can find all the retired military people and talk about Homes for Heroes. You can find all the retired doctors that used to work at the hospital. Past companies not valued. School. You can put in any school you want. Keep in mind the reason that you can read that you're seeing Ohio ones is I'm Ohio based. If I was in my big account, it would actually be all Philly stuff because I actually set that account up using a Philly address and Philly business location. Because I'm working on moving back home. But you can type in University of Pittsburgh. If you went to, if you went to U of P, you can put it in and you can find people that you already have something in common with. You want to make a lot of money, find Ivy League graduates. You know? I hate Ohio State. I could make a fortune in Columbus just selling University of Michigan people if I was willing to post on social media. I'm the realtor that hates Ohio State and loves Michigan. The problem is there's not enough Virginia Tech and Penn State people in Columbus to make a living on. But you can get to people from schools. You can get to people from industries. Notice the first one, hospital and healthcare. You just want to do a search for people and find anyone in hospital and healthcare. You can do it. You can do real estate. You can do medical practices, but you can add any industry you want. You can type in automotive plants. You can type in mortgage people. You can use that industry for any search you want. And you can do language. So if you spoke Arabic, what a great tool. If you spoke if you spoke Indian, Indian, not Native American Indian. Oh, what a great tool. Language specialty realtors. A good friend of mine speaks fluent Spanish. She's getting a huge amount of Latino clientele in Columbus because she's doing the searches for people that speak. And she's saying, I'm an agent that speaks fluently. If you want an agent that you don't have to use your second language, you don't have to worry about a parent that doesn't speak good English, I speak it fluently. It's a huge thing for her. Service categories, healthcare consulting, marketing, you can go by category instead of company. And then you can type in your own keywords. So you've got a huge amount of things that you can do in filtering here to help you do searches. Did any of you know this was even here?
No, I didn't.
Most people have never gone and searched in LinkedIn.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you going to cover as far as how your settings should be?
I usually don't in this class.
Okay. Only because I would mention that here, because guys, you want to make sure that your settings are set so that people outside of your connections see your posts. You want them to be set to everyone.
Yes.
Because sometimes that will also, if it's not set to everyone, that will block your messages from being received by people because the parameters will say, like, if you're blocked from showing it to everybody, they don't want to see your information as well. So just make sure that you set your parameters so that everybody sees your posts.
Just like on Facebook,
Right.
You can do your settings.
Yeah,
to control
Facebook should
who
be
sees it.
friends, whatever. But yeah, LinkedIn, because it is, like you said, professional dating. Everyone means everyone.
Everyone kind of see how to do a search. Play around with it for 30 minutes, you'll be an expert. It's not complicated. If you run into a problem, just call me or text me or email me or Zoom me or however. But carrier pigeon, Audis Lamp, I bet no one knows what an Aldous lamp is. They're the lamps that you actually like blink Morse code with from hill to hill. Back in the search part of this is what matters. Dawn, you're sitting there on a computer. You can now search and find anyone that's on LinkedIn. Now, here's a real expert tip. I try to make this class pretty basic. This really should be called LinkedIn by Idiot. You guys are the village, I'm teaching it. I try to keep this very basic because most people haven't played around. And if I go much further, it'll get too complicated until you've played around more. But here's one expert tip. If you find a third connection, you can't connect to him. Read his profile, see what groups he's in, and join the group. If you join the group, you can now connect with him. If you guys are in the shared groups. So they'll give you the option of buying at a pretty stiff price, the ability to reach out to third connections. Now, just look at their groups. Join a group they're in, and now you can invite them. It's the free shortcut to get to third connections. So if you join a huge group of doctors, odds are all the third connections you now can get to because some of them are going to be in there. That's how you do a search. It's not hard. You want to meet, I don't care what the industry is, you want to meet 100 guys that sell cars today. Just go in and do a search. Start clipping away, connecting. It's not hard, it's easy. You know, I've had conversations with a lot of agents that say they're kind of introverts. It's not natural for them to walk up to total strangers. This is a great way to do it. No one's going to yell at you or curse at you or tell you to tick off. No, if they don't accept your connection request, who cares? There's a lot of people to meet out there. Quality over quantity is the right way to start. You know, it's cool for me to be able to brag. I have hundreds of thousands of connections when I'm teaching a LinkedIn class. It sounds really good. That's hundreds of thousands of people who read my stuff. You want to make a lot of money doing the training that I do. I can go out, I'll go out and do $9.99, $10 classes online through LinkedIn. I've had as many as 6,000 people on a $10 class just through my LinkedIn. It works if you have a product to sell. For what we do as realtors do, quantity doesn't, it's quality all day long. You can go in and type in medical professionals and look for HR. It's a great tool. And this is a class I love teaching because no matter whether I have 2 people or 200 people, someone reaches out to me within a week and says, oh my God, I met this person, I made these connections, because it's something that everyone can do. This doesn't take money, it doesn't take skill, it just takes a little, it doesn't take a lot of time, it just takes a little bit of time. Questions about searching?
No, pretty basic.
Questions about anything with LinkedIn?
I just got to get to it and implement it.
That's the story of all of our lives, Dwan. We've got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And Dawn, this is kind of one of those things that I really think that we should try to all get together here in the office, and we do this together if you really need to expand or dig in to your profile, because that way, you know, we're all being kind of accountability partners with each other. We're doing it, and we can also focus on shared media that we want to send out, whether it's videos or information, and of course we can be stealing stuff from Tim's page for information that we want to share that's pertinent to our area. So we really should be trying to get together at least twice a month for us to work on like media and marketing.
Now, there is a legitimate question to this. Before you go out and start inviting tons of people, make sure you answer your why. Well, who do you want to connect with? If you come up with something really clever, do you really want to share it with all the other realtors? Do you really want to connect with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 other agents if you've got something really unique about your business? You may not. I have a closed account that has 0 realtors in it. I have a target for a business I used to own that I sold. But I had a marketing business that actually wrote LinkedIn content and managed LinkedIn pages. People paid me and my company to run their LinkedIn pages, to add their connections, to build their things, and actually to schedule them face-to-face meetings. When I sold it, I sold a LinkedIn page. We had no realtors. We blocked it, so if you had the word realtor in your, you couldn't see it. We didn't want anyone else to see what we were doing. So if you've got something really, really cool, let's talk. You don't even have to tell me what it is, but let's talk and you tell me, I got something really cool I don't want realtors to see, and we'll talk. Because when you do this and you connect, you're showing your competitors what you're doing. You know, if I go on LinkedIn and I put something about the LGBT housing initiative, agents on our team, it doesn't matter, go for it, you get business. But if I do it, I'm going to get phone calls from other agents. How do I become part of it? And maybe someone joins our team because of that. You know, I've had 3 LGBT agents in the past week and a half call me specifically because they saw my post to ask, how can I offer that? The reality is, if they're in Keller Williams and they're in the LGBT community, we'll let them be part of it, whether they're on our team or not, because our bigger goal is to get the money for the charitable side. But not everybody's able to join that. And they have to be Rainbow Network members if they're not on our team. But we have something kind of unique. I don't necessarily want every realtor out there seeing this, because they're not going to be part of it. But someone will then steal the idea and probably go try to create something similar. And then we have a competitor for something that, you know, we want to get all the money we can for the charity. That's why it was started. It wasn't started to sell houses. It was started to help get LGBT youth off the street. The fact we'll sell more houses, well, that's icing on the cake. It's always nice to make money helping others. So if you're going to, you know, if you've got some really unique thing, either don't post it or be careful of who's in your group, because it will get seen. And there are nurses that are realtors, you know, things will get to your competitors no matter what you do, because there's a lot of people that are realtors with full-time jobs. But just be aware, you know, when you post something, you're putting it out there for the universe. The dumbest thing anyone has done recently, and unfortunately it was one of our agents. I love April Joe, amazing human being. April Joe used to be Roy. Roy was a very unhappy truck driver. April Joe is a very, very happy realtor. Fully transitioned. She put a post up on Facebook and LinkedIn one night that said, if you're not down with trans people, F you. And it wasn't a free 4-letter word. Our team does have a social media policy. We asked her to take it down. She said, I care more about that than I do about being on the team. And she'd been with us since the beginning. I mean, we're still really good friends. We love her. She loves us. We had to let her go. We had to tell her, well, you're off the team. Her business got cut in half. She got crushed. It's crushed her business. She thought it was going to help, because she thought that every trans person who saw it would be calling her to buy a house. If you post something that's anti-Trump, that does not mean that everyone that hates Trump will use you. It does mean that people that love Trump won't. If you post something that's pro-Trump, doesn't mean everybody that loves Trump is going to use you. It means people that you know, hate Trump won't. Don't commit suicide on social media. You know, death by stupidity is the corner. You know, that there are people that on their coroner's report, it says death by stupidity. You know, if you try to ski off a 2-story roof and you break your neck, they may write death by stupidity. Or death by misadventure is the nicer way they say it. If you ever see death by misadventure, means they did something stupid, like fell into the pond carrying a, you know.
What do they say? Death by misadventure?
Yeah, misadventure. Don't have social media death by stupidity. You know, if you're going to be on these things, be professional, keep it neutral, and don't get lured into conversations. You know, if a friend says, you know, COVID's made up and vaccines don't work, it's killing millions of people and they're covering it up, whatever, don't comment. Because if you argue, you're pissing off some people. If you agree, you're pissing off some people. And no one has ever won an argument on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Yep.
You know? So be professional with this stuff. Make sure that you are, you know, if you have a thought go through your head, should I post this? The answer is always no. If you're thinking, should you, don't. Any other questions?
No.
I'm numbering people in my head. Pick a number 1 through 10. You already won. Because he picked you. This book is, everyone should have this. It's Jeff Gitomer, Little Black Book of Connections. It is single-handedly the Bible of building a network of people. Jeff sold business to business in Philly. If you can sell in Philly, you pretty much can sell anywhere. Great read.
What's the name of it?
Little Black
Jeff
Book.
Gitomer,
Yeah, Little Black Book of Connections.
Thank you.
Ticket number 1 through 6. You don't